I'm Idowu Afuye by name from Ekiti. I was born to the family of late Chief Jonathan Afuye and Mrs. Felicia Afuye of blessed memory from Ekiti. I attended the St. Mary's Primary School in Ode. I proceeded to the Ekiti High School, then I left there to University of Ekiti, where I have my diploma in business administration, then later BSc in political science. Presently, I'm doing my master in Abuja, the National Institute of Legislative and Democratic Study in Abuja. I worked briefly in Ekiti State House of Assembly. I worked there for 10 years before I quit.
That's between what year? What year?
Let's see. 2008 to 2021. Yeah, 2008 to 2021.
I believe in uniqueness, and I believe I can do some things, and even though I have done some things actually, but I still believe I can definitely do some things that will make me, of course, even while I'm looking at models, those people, they did something exceptional. That is why people are looking up to them as models. But I believe, I don't want to mention it, an individual now, and that is why I am coming from the perspective that I myself, I want to be so unique. You know, as long as I'm unique, then people will, definitely tap one or two things from me as well. Even while I'm tapping one or two things from those people I see as models. But I'm not going to mention any particular individual, because of course if you ask me that question, we have those that are exceptional in politics, we have those that are exceptional in probably in their careers.
That's right.
So if I'm mentioning the name now in the political arena, then of course I really need to mention another name, probably in those that are exceptional in their careers, even religious wise. That is why I'm not going to mention a particular individual. So I believe I'm just going to do things the way I believe let me say the way I feel it's cool for me to do. I studied 4-year course at Ekiti State University. The only work experience I have is my industrial training. That was when I went to Ekiti State Waste Management Board for my industrial training. And after the industrial training, of course, you need to go back to school for the final stuff.
I've been in politics for long, not that I just started. It's just that there are some things that I'm doing now that I can't do then. I cannot involve myself then. Like this program I'm doing now. It's not possible for me as a civil servant at the same time be active like this in politics. I've been in politics for a while. I can say I was trained by late Professor Israel from Ode. Was one of my mentors. I gained a lot from him during the period that we were together before he was late. Then one of my cousins is late too. It's Akin. We were together for a while in a struggle like this in 1999, in 2008. So I've been involving actively in politics, but skeletally because of my job. Not that I just started, no. I've been in politics for a while, so I know the nitty-gritty of what politics is all about. But now I see myself that this time around I can evolve better than before. That's why I'm fighting for my people in Ekiti South now, which I can only vote and do night meetings and other things before. But now, both nights and days, I can say that I'm free to attend a meeting anywhere, anytime, any day.
Mr. Ebenezer Idowu, tell us your political antecedents.
When I was on campus, I contested for National Secretary of Federation of Ekiti State Student Union. That is the body of all indigenous students of Ekiti State, both home and diaspora. So by the virtue of that position, being the national secretary, the global secretary of that union, so I was able to meet with people across all walks of life, both political and, those people that have excelled in their careers. So I was able to meet even the number one citizen of the states. So by the virtue of that position, it was an avenue for me to venture into politics, if not as a partisan politician, but of course that is the basis of my involvement in politics.
Ekiti South Agenda 2022. What informed it?
Thank you, sir. I sat down and I look at the way things were going on in Ekiti. Already after 2018, I studied what led to the failure of Ekiti South people not to emerge as the governor of the state. But we have the opportunity in 2014, at the same time in 2018. I studied critically that it seemed our people had some shortcuts. That all led me to come up with the idea of naming it Ekiti South Development Agenda. It's known basically on politics. After politics, then we look at the area where we can empower our youth, encourage them in their education and other things. That's why you use the word of Ekiti South Development Agenda. I look at the way things are going on that Ekiti presently at 25, Ekiti South were marginalized. Marginalized in the sense that in 1999 there was arrangement in these states led by some leader, our late father, Senator Idowu Afuye, and some others, Professor Akinjide from Efon, that the seat of governor in Ekiti will be rotated among the 3 senatorial districts. Then thereafter, any senatorial district can now come up and contested for the seat of the governorship. Even the SSG of this state, my brother, Banji, he has the copy of the agreement. The copy of the agreement is with him, because he was then the assistant secretary of the group. But all along, things started changing. The Otunbani Yariba came in 1999. Fauci took over in 2003. Shegun in 2007. North and Central. Fahimi came on board in 2010 from North again. And Fauci took over from him in 2014 from Central again. And Fahimi now, 2018, to date, from North again. And the South Senatorial District is the only Senatorial District that had 6 local governments in Ekiti. Others, they are 5 in number. And we happen to be the second largest voter in Ekiti. After Ekiti Central, then it's Ekiti South. Now, why are we marginalized? Why are we not allowing to take the shot of the seat of governorship? That was what led me to come up with this idea and look for the people of like my brother, because I knew him when he was the secretary of the first, so that he's very active. He can function very well in this struggle, because I believe in the people that believe in struggle. Because this is a struggle, it's not about making money. We're in a struggle to fight for our people. We don't look back what might be the outcome, and whatever we might be passing through, then we must be able to manage ourselves and see it as our cause, which we have been doing, and with God in our side, we thank God where we get to today. So that was what inspired me to come up with this idea that it is time, if our leader cannot fight and get things right. I think we youth can swear, bring ourselves together and make change, which we are doing. Thank God today the noise and our programs are gathering momentum. That some people are thinking that no, because before they thought nobody was there, but now they knew people are there, and we have sons and daughters from Ekiti South who can perform better than those that have governed this state so far with their times of experience and other things. So that's why we came up with this idea and begin to tell our people that it is our time. But firstly, we try to meet all our leaders from South and make sure this time around they were united. Because one of their problem is they were not united. Everybody wants to become the governor of the state. In 2014, President Goodluck Jonathan asked them to go and bring a consensus candidate. Among of them, those people that contested, and they were like 10 or 11 in number. Senator Bengaluko was among of them. Then Dare Bejide, Senator Dayo Adeyeye, and others like that. But none of them could even say, okay, if it is not mine, then you. Everybody wants to become the governor of the state. That's how Fawoshe got the ticket. It was only Fawoshe that contested from Central, while 11 or 12 of them were contested from South. And for them to come up with one person, everybody wants to become the governor. Nobody is ready to step down for another. And Fawoshe started making noise, moving around the state, galvanized people here and there, was clamoring for primary. Why they were saying they want consensus, and you are not ready, nobody is ready to step down for another. You got it wrong. Fawoshe got the ticket. In 2019, the same thing repeats itself. When Fawoshe came, we were like 10 aspirants. Only from Ikere, we were having like 3. Dr. Uyede from Ikere, President Speaker Ekiti State Assembly, Idowu Afuye was contested from Ikere. Muyiwa Olumilua was contested from Ikere. Ikere cannot even produce one person. It's a very big problem. You know, the Delefa Paris was contesting, Senator Bengaluko was contesting. And how do you expect, and the 5 are like 10, 5 of you wants to go to a primary with one person from North. There's no way the North will not get the primary, because the votes from South will be divided among the people contesting from South. While Fayemi will have a block vote from North. So those are the critical area we are looking at now to make sure things doesn't go the way it was before. Like in PDP, now I tried to reach out to Senator Luchimi, Kaude Adaramodu, and Eleka. Only one person. Can't we having one person among of you to face others from North and Central instead of 3 of you running from South? And to God be the glory, there's only one person among of them that will obtain a 4 minimum member from now. We'll be able to achieve that, to having a consensus aspirant this time around in PDP. Soon, we believe same thing will repeat itself in APC. But the 2 political parties will pray they pick their candidates from Ekiti South, because it is our turn. But any party that comes to South as the party we are going to support, that has been our agitation. But if the 2 political parties came to South, fine. But any political party that consider South for the next governorship, that's the party we will work for.
Are you the proponent of Ekiti South agenda?
Yes, sir.
How long has it been?
We have been in a system for more than a year now, a year and some months.
And you said the Ekiti South people were denied.
They were denying.
How?
Because of the power blocks.
How were they denied?
The power that be in the states. You know, in Ekiti today, we have leaders in the both political parties that decide what happened in the states. I can't say 100% that we are denying, because in 2018 Eleka was picked by Fauci from South. But the process that produced Eleka made the people of the South, some people, not everybody, to reject the process, which led to the Eleka failure. Like Senator Adeyeye left the party to APC, and we have like 6,000 votes from Mise that goes to APC. Adeyeye remain in PDP, the vote goes to PDP. 6,000 votes from Mise alone. Even in Ikere people did not vote for Eleka then, because some of them were aggrieved that how would Fauci just come and say this is my anointed candidate. Should have allowed a process to produce Eleka, non just come up and say, okay, this is the person that I want and everybody must support him. I think that's what led to the crisis then that made Eleka to fail the election, because they lost the election with just 19,000 votes, and that would have been the short of South, if not because of this unity that I mentioned earlier. Because I was expecting our leaders to overlook all what happened and embrace the process, for the father is from the South, Adeyeye is from the South, and some of other leaders that are from South, which they refuse to cooperate with the process. And then they have the interests of the South in mind. They ought to have overlooked the process and embrace the South person, because for the father who not got an opportunity to be the governor, but the reverse was the case. But this time around, we are working assiduously to make sure that we prevent all the past mistakes not to repeat itself.
This kind of a project, you see, that's a capital-intensive project, as some people will say, political pundits. Some people believe that you are being sponsored by some politicians. How far is that true, and how far have you gone, with your set down objectives to be able to achieve, not, backing up any party, but whoever, according to what the coordinator has said, whoever that emerges, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter the party is coming from, will be supported.
Yeah, of course. You wouldn't expect people to sit down and relax while this kind of project is being propagated. You expect, especially the politicians, even most of the southern politicians, you approach someone now, and the next thing you hear is, I don't even trust you. I mean, I don't trust the body of this organization. Why? Because that person believes it is practically impossible for you to, especially whenever the coordinator even says, I resign purposely because of this project, so it sounds somehow illogical to some people, that how will you resign, and you claim you are not being sponsored, then is it possible for you to use your personal resources to foot this kind of project? So it is not something we never expected when we started the struggle. Of course, we believe a lot of people outside there would definitely want to attach this kind of, they want to attach personal, they would definitely want to say, okay, you are being sponsored by some set of people. But as a body that is committed to ensuring, a person from the South, becomes the governor of the state come 2022, we have remained resolute, and even though it is not easy, because, for instance, we have a program coming up, a proposed program coming up next month, and of course, it involves a lot of funds. Personally, we'll be committed. I mean, the members, we have a team. Of course, we have coordinators, we have executives.
Yeah.
It's been a kind of taxing each other that, okay, this is what we want to do. For instance, we had our last meeting the last Sunday, and after the meeting, even it was released in our communique that everybody should contribute so amount of money. So it's really been a long tax. It's been an ethic tax, but at the same time, it was something that we expected. So it has been this kind of challenge that we be managing, and we believe very soon. Even now, a lot of them have been reasoning with us, because the project is coming to this stage where it is becoming more meaningful. The election is coming even less than a year now. Practically, it's not easy for a politician to fund this kind of projects whenever they believe it's not going to be favorable to them. Politicians sometimes might be, politics is full of interest. So when you believe this kind of thing, even though it's logical, but if that thing is not going to be of personal interest to you, it is possible you might not probably want to do the needful as it's expected of you. So that it has really been like that. But we'll be trying to convince them that this is what, even though they know it is a worthy cause, it is a cause that is very worthwhile. But it's really big challenge that a lot of them are be dodging because they are really not convinced about the way we get the fund. And this thing is out of commitment. The members of the organization have be committed enough to even apart from sacrificing their financial resources, even the time. For instance, before coming down to this studio, we traveled out to somewhere, because we had some assignments we spent to this same agenda. So apart from the money, the time has been something, it has really been consuming, and it is basically out of commitment, and that is how it has been. And we believe the more we intensify effort, we're going to achieve success at the end.
Mr. Ebenezer Idowu, before joining the platform of the Ekiti South agenda, what party did you also belong to?
Of course, I earlier said, immediately my tenure lapsed as the National Secretary of FESU. So, of course, FESU was not partisan something. It was a group also agitating for a cause. So that is why I said I've been an activist right from time. So of course, I've been exercising my franchise as a citizen. I've been voting for candidate of my choice at the previous elections, but I've never been into partisan politics.
It looks like you will be satisfied with any kind of person from Ekiti South, as long as the person is from Ekiti South, whether he has what it takes or not to be in that position.
I actually want to use this moment to itemize some profiles, even though I may not mention the names. If you are talking about the number one seat of the state, which is the position of the governor, we believe, of course, we are homogeneous in Ekiti State, and we are all, we are all, let me say, we are intellectuals, and we believe in an individual that is qualified. Qualified as how? Qualified in, perhaps maybe he's a technocrat, he's garnered a lot of experiences across his career, or he's garnered a lot of experiences in his political, career. Sojourn. So I believe, as far as South Senatorial District is concerned, we have a lot of them. If you want me to mention names, of course, we have a lot of them. That is,
you may mention names if you want.
We have a vibrant senator in Olujimi. You understand? We have the immediate past deputy governor of the state. He's performed exceedingly well in his career, and in fact, he was the last flag bearer of a particular party. The People Democratic Party. We have even the Right Honorable Mibishile that was earlier mentioned by my boss. He's been the Speaker of the House of Assembly, and he's currently a member. Not even, we have a lot of members. We have over 300 members at the House of Representatives at Abuja. A lot of them are there that are doing nothing, but is renowned among them. He's currently the chairman of one of the important committees as far as that legislative arm is concerned. So we have even Senator Biodun Aluko. We have a lot. We want to talk about experience. If you want to talk about experience proper, we have a lot of people that are well experienced. We have, even though the reason why I'm not going to mention a lot of names is, you know, there are a lot of people that are there that you might want to, even if you are mentioning, a lot of them might probably not want to be interested. Of course, the position of governor is a contentious position. Everybody is a strategic position, but a lot of them might probably not want to contest now. So but I'm just using this as an instance that we have a lot of there is no way you want to do it that okay, let this position go to south. It's not like maybe we're going to have people that are not credible. We have a lot of people that are credible. Even myself, I'm credible. Though age will not allow you to understand. So we have a lot of people that are credible as far as that position is concerned. So it's not a case of we'll be satisfied with whosoever comes from. We are confident that if we are given the opportunity, of course, we are not begging. It's not like we are begging other senatorial districts that do not contest. But we are actually trying to, we know there are power brokers, we know there are some people in charge. Of course, we understand politics is not a case of you just going out, you want to contest. Of course, you can contest and say you may be confident to win. But we know there are power brokers. So that is why we are just bringing into their hearing that, okay, Ekiti South, we want to do this. So we are just bringing into their consciousness, okay, just consider South in your, in case of, in your permutations, let me use that word. So that is what we're trying to do. It's not like we are stopping other people or other aspirants. Of course, we have a lot of aspirants coming out now, even in the PDP.
You see, in the Ekiti South, we have sons and daughters who are more qualified. If I use the word of more qualified, like you said, Right Honorable Femba Michele was once a speaker and now a member of Fred. He's qualified to be the governor of a state. Honorable Yemi Adaramodu was once the chief of staff of a state, of Ekiti State. Now, the member of Fred is qualified. We have former deputy governor from Ikere, Chief Sovio Biodun Aluko, was once a deputy governor. Senator Biodun Lujimi was once a commissioner, a deputy governor, a member of Fred, now a two-time senator. She's qualified. Like what he said, that we have more than qualified. That's what I'm trying to expatiate on.
I actually agree from that perspective, because that anybody standard ambiguous, in our society, if I say anybody,
as long as it's from Ekiti.
It's not anybody.
If I say anybody, or if anybody says anybody, that means even if it's a someone that is
a mechanic.
It's a mechanic. So that is my point. It's not ambiguous. So it's not the case of anybody.
Yeah. Because a former House of Rep member, we cannot say it's anybody. It's not a roadside mechanic or
someone that has performed really well for over 25 years in academies and now became the deputy governor of the state, and then a flag bearer of a party.
The man I'm talking of, he retired in Westes. He was in Westes. He was once in Germany for years. He was in Westes. He came he became the chairman of a council. He performed excellent. Now went to House of Rep. So it's not an anybody person. Is qualified because none of our past leader had the experience he had before they became the governor of the state. So
earlier you said that we held consultation and meetings with some so-called leaders in the PDP. That's from the side there.
Not even PDP across.
No. I'm coming to PDP this time around.
Okay.
You specifically said that.
Okay.
Let me mention it. Olutimi Apo.
Okay.
Them. And
the three aspirants we have in PDP.
They are planning to have a consensus candidate.
No, that they are even planning. Already have
okay.
The consensus aspirants.
This way I'm going.
Okay.
You said same will happen to APC.
Yes.
By the time, let's say a candidate, eventually emerges from PDP and APC. How do you think that the two parties will be able to work together to ensure that they back up candidate from that side?
No, the two parties is not as central that we decide. If the two political parties pick their candidate from South,
yes,
it's not the South people that will, because both of them are, I believe, if APC picks a candidate from Ikere.
What I'm trying to say, you are trying to present a candidate or aspirant. They eventually.
It's an aspirant. In the PDP, it's an aspirant. We are having three aspirants
yes.
in PDP.
Yes.
and we don't want the three of them to go into primary with others.
Yes.
I mean, those people that are contesting in other senatorial districts. We have 2 in central, 1 in north. In order not to have the same mistake we have been having before, so we are trying to look at a way of having a consensus aspirant among of them. We should compete with others. The South will have just one person that will run with the 2 people contesting in central and north. And we believe the South will win the primary by the special grace of God. So, if eventually the APC and PDP piece their candidates from South, there is no way we'll look at their antecedent as well. The candidate piece in PDP and in APC. But it's not Ekiti South that will decide, because our votes alone cannot make the governor of the state. The north and central as well, they will join us to decide. His vote I will now decide. But we will know that whichever way is our sons or daughter. And it's not going to be a governor of the South as well. It's going to be the governor of Ekiti State. So South and North and Central will as well will participate in who wins the general election among of the 2. If the 2 comes to South, but if it's only one party that picks from South, then it means the Ekiti South will vote and block for the party that picks our person as a candidate.
Okay, Ekiti is 25.
Where Ekiti at 25, the present and the previous administration, no, I will not go into deep about that. Governor Afuye tried his best when he was there. Then I think Fahimi is putting his best as well now. But we are expecting more than where we are in Ekiti. Starting from 1999 to date at 25, we are still lacking some area of development, like road infrastructure. When I was coming to this place now, the road was so bad. We believe by the special grace of God, things will get better. Everybody, they were trying their own pace. They tried their best. Governance is a continuous. Only one person cannot finish the problem of a state within 4 years. Even within it, it's not possible.
What's the Ekiti State of your dream?
Well, by the special grace of God, we believe Ekiti State will get to where it's supposed to be in the nearest future. We are the leaders of tomorrow, and we have our own plans when the time comes, how we can make things work better than the way it is now. And I believe things will be better. We are fountain of knowledge. We have sons and daughters from both senatorial districts who can. It's very unfortunate that the foundation of Ekiti State is very rough. I'm sorry to use the language. I use the language rough in the sense that the likes of Babalo Poroku, then Professor Ademide are the one that started this. The foundation of this state will not be where we are today. But it's very unfortunate. Then Otumani Adeba was just 39, 40 when he became the governor. So he doesn't even know the nitty-gritty of what it takes to be the governor. It's not about party and clubbing up and down. And so it means the foundation to look somehow rough, and which others are still building on, that make it to be where we are today. But thank God, series of people are coming in now from different professions which they can make things better than the way it is now. So by the grace of God, it will get it right. Very, very soon we'll get it right, because we've not gotten it right, but I believe we'll get it right very soon.
Ebenezer, Ekiti of your dream, what is it?
Ekiti, my dream is actually that we should gonna have a functional and dynamic atmosphere for people to thrive. As such, young and talented people outside there that are ready to venture into private sector will be able to do that without, not even relying on government, because as of today, it is believed that it is a civil servant state,
Yeah.
which is kind of embarrassing. We have an average Ekiti sons and daughters now. The government is here to pay the salary. Today is the last day of the month, and by percentage, fine, not based on statistics. Actually, from my own record, I'm very confident. Most of the families in these states now are probably waiting for the salary, and that is not very comfortable. So my dream is that you have a fortunate, an atmosphere that is very, beautiful, an atmosphere that is very beautiful for people to thrive. People that have ideas, they will be able to express themselves and they will be able to thrive, and as such, they will be able to connect and invite investors from, Ekiti State will be able to invite investors into the state, and they will grow.
And that's how far we go today as one of the state of Ekiti today. And of course, the last minutes we'll be hosting in our studio, of course, the coordinator of the Ekiti South Development Agenda, the person of Honorable Idowu Afuye. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
We hope that next time we'll call you.
No problem.
And of course, also want to thank you very much, the secretary of the organization. That is Idowu Ebenezer. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Wait.
And my colleague.
Well, thank you very much. It's been a beautiful time hearing from the horse's mouth about the Ekiti South agenda.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for coming, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, and bye for now.
People of the Fountain.